Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Yerevan, welcome to the Figure Skating and Hockey School, and welcome to the ISU Junior Grand Prix, Armenian Cup 2023. This is an event of the International Skating Union and hosted by Figure Skating Federation of Armenia. In just a few moments, we will start the Junior Ice Dance Rhythm Dance. We remind you that flash photography as well as video recording and filming is forbidden. Gifts and flowers offered to the skaters at the end of their performance must be completely wrapped, and we thank you very much for your cooperation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to introduce to you the officials for this event. Representing the International Skating Union, please welcome the referee of the event, Ms. Rossella Cecatini. The panel of judges, Judge number 1, Mr. Massimo Orlandini, Italy. Judge number 2, Ms. Mary Elizabeth Whitman, the United States of America. Judge number 3, Ms. Hilary Quick, Canada. Judge number 4, Ms. Christine Hurt, France. Judge number 5, Mr. Albert Zayman, Israel. Also representing the International Skating Union, please welcome the technical panel. Technical controller, Mr. Hal Warren. Technical specialists, Ms. Slavka Gritsova. Mr. Rock Lumay.
Hello everyone, welcome to week number 7, day 2 of competition here in Yerevan, Armenia. We're outside the facility here. Just behind this facility is Mount Ararat, 17,000 feet high. Incredible, 3 times the size of Mount Baker in Washington State of the United States. Incredible indeed. We can see that out the back of the building. But we're here for figure skating. I'm Ted Barton along with Mark Henready. Mark, let's set up the rhythm dance.
Yeah, so last week in Gdansk, we had the largest field in the ice dance competition on the Junior Grand Prix series. This the smallest, with just 11 teams competing. However, a couple of them have their eyes on the Junior Grand Prix final, so exciting times ahead.
11 teams from 9 nations, and they take to the ice with the 1980s theme for the last time right now. And there is Mount Ararat right behind the building here. Look at that. Absolutely spectacular. What historical, rich, beautiful country, friendly people. Just incredible. And look outside the facility here. Mark, I think we look pretty cool with those sunglasses. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a good look.
Well, for me anyways, covers up the, all the wrinkles. I mean, you're still pretty good. As we take a look at the officials for this event, the rhythm dance. So, day number 2. We're winding down.
Yeah, it's getting close to the end. It's both exciting and sad to some extent. And
that's it. And
I don't quite know how we'll move forward next weekend. I'm feeling about covering 1980s rhythm dances.
Yeah, exactly. Now, only 11 teams here. Let's talk a little bit about that. I suppose, and we're just speculating here, but it's the final event, and there are less entries actually in all of them. The women are 34, so that's a fair size entry. But being the final event and whatnot, fewer teams are traveling here, but still, it's going to be interesting.
Absolutely, and as we said yesterday in both the women's and the men's events, that the skaters all have their own respective goals and objectives coming into the event, and so we talked. I thought it was quite interesting what we talked about yesterday in regards to Junior Worlds. We've referenced often skaters trying to get the scores to get to Junior Worlds, but yesterday we talked about the implications of those results at Junior Worlds. And so for some of these teams, more opportunities on the Junior Grand Prix for their nation become available should they qualify to be at Junior Worlds. So all sorts of implications and all sorts of things to strive towards.
And we also have, of course, the Youth Olympic Games, and
yes, that
is important for a lot of these skaters as well. So there are something, and most importantly, this is the conclusion of the Junior Grand Prix. Let's put this as, I don't want to say preseason, but for your domestic competition, it is the preseason. So you're out there internationally, you're getting points, you're getting all the good things we just talked about, but it's not qualifying within your country. So now they will graduate from this class into their national series of competitions up to the national championships, and then hopefully they'll move on into the Junior World Championships. So, and personal best, lots at stake. They've come out of their summer training. They've competed this fall, and they're getting in better shape. Everything's coming along quite nicely, but there's another gear to go. There's another level to be at.
And interesting that in this Junior Grand Prix in Yerevan, we have seen in the singles competition and now also in the dance, lots of teams competing in actually their first assignment, and I think that's evident for the first 2 teams to compete in this very first warm-up group, skaters that are getting the first opportunity in their first Junior Grand Prix series, and there's an element of, it feels, the federation's using this as an opportunity to educate them for subsequent seasons.
Yeah. Experiences, we take a look at this young team from Canada. I've talked to some of the coaches here. First time out, I mean, they're all so excited, but they're also a little bit nervous. It's a new world. Numbers absolutely don't matter to anybody. Maybe to the kids they do, but to a certain degree. But it's about the experience with other teams, other nations, big travel, disrupt your time zone, all that kind of stuff. Those are experiences you have to go through to learn how to cope with it as you move into seniors with your more experience. And that will take a number of years, of course.
And I imagine, for most of these teams competing here and the single skaters later on, they will have been watching all series long. So there have been 6 events prior to this, which they could, I'm sure, have tuned in and checked in what was happening to hopefully help them acclimatize to what they might come to expect from being here.
Yeah.
And today, with a relatively late start, obviously we've mentioned that there are fewer numbers competing here. There's not the pairs category. To later start today, getting the chance to chat to some coaches, and quite a few of them did acknowledge the travel to this event from North America particularly was quite arduous, and that has understandably and obviously played a factor in the preparation, and the skaters just having to take a little bit longer to acclimatise to the time zone and the impact of that on their training.
Yeah, actually, a little later start affects us too. You were just mentioning 2 seconds ago, geez, I got to get on my game here. I'm starting late. I'm kind of relaxed. Where am I with papers are flying? And
I think I need to apologise. There were some skaters yesterday, and I definitely wasn't quite as sharp as when we're here from the start of the day onwards.
I thought it was quite nice. But
you were fabulous.
No, not at all. So, no, it's a lot of fun. It is a later start. Of course, we're always used to starting at 10 o'clock in the morning, going to 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Here we're starting at 2:30 in the afternoon, going to 10 o'clock at night. but still, it was very nice to have the morning. It's a beautiful day here in Yerevan. It's about 22 degrees, sunny like crazy. We walk right out of our studio here to the right onto a staircase that goes down in the parking lot with Mount Ararat in the background.
Amazing.
Hovering over the city of Yerevan. This is a spectacular part of the world. very, very different for many of us that are around. And if you ever get a chance to explore this part of the world, don't miss it. The history, Europe has history. Canada, we were talking the other day. Yeah, it's kind of a joke. Our history is like, 150, 200 years,
2 minutes.
whatever. Yeah, exactly. There's just not a lot of history in our country. And when you come to, but it is history. It's just our history. When you come to a country like this, you're in awe. You're in awe of the people, of the victories, of the tragedies, of the, just the families and the people that made this land work, and not just here, but all around this area.
It really is.
And we would never have thought, let's go to Yerevan for a holiday. Now I think, I would come for a holiday because now I understand more about it.
Well, I want to take my family to experience what Armenia has to offer, having seen a little bit of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there we see the Canadian contingent. Not a lot of fans here in this building, but they're supportive nonetheless. And there is a look at our first team. As we mentioned, just a new team, first experience. Whoa, and their first skaters out. From Canada, Aria 16, Earl Jesse 17, first Junior Grand Prix event. Anticipation and excitement, coached by Elise Sabel here in Yerevan and Benjamin Brisebois. They'll skate the rhythm dance to Father Figure by George Michael and Faith by Carl Hugo.
Well, huge congratulations to Aria Sincon Debut and Erges Celestino from Canada, their first Junior Grand Prix and the first to compete in the rhythm dance. And I just was so impressed at the connection they had together, looking at each other before their names were called out to the ice. And I think that a representation of the 7 years they've been as a team And what, a great achievement to now be on the Junior Grand Prix.
Sharing a special moment, no question. And you could see there's a little bit of nerves, but they were thinking everything through. They were tracking each other pretty well. Of course, skating skills needs a lot of work still and whatnot. But for their first debut here on the Junior Grand Prix, there's the Twizzles. Good synchronization off the first set. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, and close together here. Maybe some check threes. We'll just see what the tech panel think. And they were perilously close to the boards for Earl at that point, managing to just squeak in the third Twizzle. And here, Rocker Foxtrot. And so the team's done a great job. You can just see not as much ice coverage as some of the teams that we may see later. Just they'll be working, as they, I'm sure, already do, on deeper knees, deeper ankles to facilitate more ice coverage. But this is fun. The George Michael music, the perfect backdrop for the team. And I thought Aria here through the non-touch was really selling it well. And I just think it's a gorgeous story to hear about the work that they have with their coach, Elise Amel, who's here with them, and she has coached another of their coaches, Benjamin Brisbois, who we saw in the Junior Grand Prix last week. And I love the idea of the family connection between the coaches, passing on their knowledge to the next generation, and it's wonderful stuff.
What a great thrill and excitement for this team. They look pretty happy with the performance.
And rightly so.
Yeah, 45.37. First team out for Aria and Earl. Jesse. Oh, holding up for the 5. Come on.
Hey.
Okay, pay attention there, Earl.
more in sync on the ice.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Our next team also represents Canada, 16-year-old Elisa Koneva and 20-year-old Kieran McDonald. Coached by Carly McDonald and Paul McIntosh. First Junior Grand Prix event. So there is no personal best score. They'll grab that right now after this dance. So skate to Hip to Be Square, dance hall days, and everyone have fun tonight.
Well, back-to-back Canadian teams. This time, Elisa Koneva and Kieran McDonald in their first Junior Grand Prix. And this team, less seasoned than the previous Canadian competitors, who teamed up in 2022.
And you were surprised at the keynotes.
Yeah. Really impressive. It looks like it's under review now, but they had 4 key points.
Oh, key
all
points, perfect. Yeah.
Given a yes on the first sequence of the Rocker Foxtrot, which for a team in their first Junior Grand Prix is a major coup. Just slight synchronicity issue on the twizzles, but good ice coverage.
Level 3 and 4. Level 3, 4, Elisa. Level 4 for Kieran. Total 7.61 for that one element. Here's some little dancing, setting up the steps sequence coming up.
And I think 1980s music I don't think we've heard on the series this far already. An interesting pattern for the Rocker Foxtrot. They started a little further round in the rank and then really crossed the centre. Now that is allowed on these steps here. You are allowed now to cross centre. That previously wasn't something that could be done in the Rocker Foxtrot. They're just trying to showcase as much flow and glide as is possible. And here again you can see the efforts by them and their choreography team. They work with Joel Deere, trying to push that 1980s essence, which is what the ice dance judges trying to really reward when it comes to the composition and the presentation. Boom, finish. And it's Kieran's sister, Carly, who is a coach as well. So we've seen parents coaching their students, siblings coaching as well.
That's interesting. That's a whole different dynamic, right? You can see the similarities, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. And so this couple 7th at Canadian Nationals, I believe. And like a next step forwards in their progression being on the Junior Grand Prix.
A great experience gained here. Take a look at the rhythm dance scores for Elisa and Kieran. 51.70. Pretty good score, and seem to be pretty pleased with that. And overly pleased, but pretty pleased. And that'll put them currently into first place. Second team out in the event. Our next team represents Switzerland. 18-year-old Maël Letterman and 19-year-old Antonin Emo. First Junior Grand Prix season, second event this fall. 11th in Linz in week 2 in the Junior Grand Prix. 42.93, their personal best in the rhythm dance.
Swiss team, Maya Lederman and Antonin Imo, 18 and 19 years old respectively. The two students in their second Junior Grand Prix. And they're the proud waving of the Swiss flag. Not sure if that's family. They're here to support Maya and Antonin. And hopefully this will be a marked improvement on the score that they achieved in Linz in Austria when they had 42.93. They look certainly stronger in that event, but it'll be down to the tech score, I think, a little bit as well. We have a look at the non-touch. Just looking for those difficult turns there. The right forward inside bracket, ever so slight scratch of the toe pick, so that won't be callable. And this is the second sequence of the Rocker Foxtrot, where Antonin skates what is known as the women's steps, and Maya the man steps, and really difficult here to do the outside closed mohawk in this position. And the team, unfortunately, just getting one of the 8 key points, so that having ramifications on the tech scores. We look at the twizzles. And choosing to do the catch foot on the third twizzle. This really difficult choice of features. Lots going on. And a good
Just
save.
a loss of balance there a little bit. He was amazing to save that lift, because that was a bit of trouble even when she was flipping over his shoulders, right?
And they chose to do difficult features to get that level 4, but perhaps the grade of execution will suffer as a result.
Yeah, it does. It's down at a minus 0.64 with just a level 3. So they didn't even get the 4 plus the GOE. So
and actually, on top of that, that lift had a mandatory -1 deduction because it went over the maximum 7-second time allocation. So it's the potential for a lift with a huge point scoring basis. But at this stage in the season, it's still costing them a little bit heavily. So expect to be able to add to that as the season progresses, and they manage to get all of those features with the change of position, the difficult exit done much quicker. So I don't know. I think the team has a lot of potential. I think they're strong. Just the tech score that's causing them to fall short of those that have competed already so far, I think.
Well, let's take a look at the score. They're 42.93. This is a 44.19. So that is their best score. That's their season's best. But that'll put them currently into third place.
The following couples may not take the ice for a 5 minutes warm-up. From France, Lena Malikior-Rapoud and Ilya Zananikov. From Israel, Elizabeth Kachenko.
And there's a look at the starter for group number 2. Moving along quickly here, Mark.
Yeah, speeding through. Oh gosh, an already collision. Jeez, oh.
Now, as we normally do, we try to find any questions that we may have had from the audience, but I don't think they've been sent in.
I don't think we've issued our plea.
Or mandatory requirement.
Or I joked about it, but as we head towards the final, as we are in the final event of the series, calling out skaters that we know that are watching. It was interesting yesterday to hear from skaters competing in this event that are obviously either listening in the hotel or listening in the ring. We've sent in questions.
Yeah, that was great. Enjoyed that. Now that is colorful.
That sure is. And
it's 80s theme.
Yeah, and the favorites, I think, potentially the Elizabeth Kachenko and Alexei Kilyukov, who come into this event with a silver medal from Osaka. I think they...
So 13 points. Yeah, and maybe the favorites here in the competition we'll see.
And they will vie to get that slot at the Junior Grand Prix final in Beijing. Great example here, skaters crossing the center axis, exploiting the opportunity to do that and showcasing more skating skill.
Exploiting the opportunity.
Yeah.
I like that, because there was a rule that you couldn't, right? So
used to be a...
Let's go across the line now.
We're free!
Do we dare to go across the line?
Free! So currently, Céline Fragi and Jean-Anne Fourneau find themselves in 5th place on the Junior Grand Prix Series rankings, with Irina Pergena and Artem Koval in 6th place, and there are 2 teams potentially that could vie to knock them out of that top 6 coveted spots.
So even though there's just 11 teams, there is some potential movement in the top 6 spots. That will be interesting, of course. And those skaters at home that you just mentioned, at home probably watching going, okay,
it would be so hard to watch.
I don't control my destiny, right?
Yeah.
Thought often about over the years about those skaters that have finished their 2 and have a chance to make the final, but it's not up to them. It's now up to the skaters on the ice.
And I think that must be such a quandary because as a human, you wish everybody the best, but as a
Yeah.
competitor, you want yourself just to be better.
Yeah, exactly. I guess it's human nature. What can you do?
Interesting that in this, as we look at the team now, Lena Malikon, Ripun, Ilya Sianikov, it's their training mates, Fraji and Jean Hanfurno, who wait to find out their fate. And we have a smaller judging panel here in Yerevan, and that pretty much a direct consequence of the fewer entries, so less judges here, but still that mandatory required amount to be able to conduct this International Skating Union Junior Grand Prix event. 5 judges on the panel.
And some of these judges have, not just here, in other events, have passed their exams this summer in Frankfurt. And for some, this might be their second Junior Grand Prix assignment or their first Junior Grand Prix assignment. So for them, even it's exciting as well.
Yeah.
And, nerve-wracking. They're here at the Junior Grand Prix, and it's pretty exciting as they start their journey, their own journey in international competition. And many of these officials are on the circuit internationally for a decade or two.
Yeah. Well.
So.
I just was fascinated to hear on my travels here from the Peruvian judge, and it was literally just that. It was his first international assignment at an ISU event of this caliber and this magnitude, and you could sense the excitement from him. And I thought, that's what you want. You want judges that are excited to support the skaters.
I think they all are. I do. They wouldn't be here. There's so much commitment given, not for this one event or for any one event, but in a lifetime. They skated. They went through the training of judges locally and domestically. They went through international training. They went through the stress of that Frankfurt seminar, and it is stressful. And then they get there. So this is not a quick journey for any of those officials. It's just as long, in some cases longer than some of the athletes. So, and some of them don't make it. Some judges don't make it. So this is a great, your top, the cream of the crop type of thing, and starting their journey in officiating.
And I've seen even not so much judges necessarily, but I remember through the off-season seeing skaters that I maybe competed against, and that's like 10, 15 years ago, who are now technical specialists. So often this tech panel will comprise, certainly the technical specialists will comprise of coaches. And I've seen social media posts where they are elated and excited to pass that difficult exam, because it's, from what I gather, the Frankfurt exams are pretty stressful.
Yeah. Oh, no,
Intense.
they are. I've been there, because when we were doing the judging system, we started, it is one of the most stressful things you can go through. It really is, yeah.
Aye.
And good in a way, because you have to test your mettle, right? You know what that means, test your mettle?
Okay,
there you go.
Sound effect for test your metal.
Well said. There you go. So we look at our first team in group number 2.
On the ice
Representing France, 15-year-old Lena Nalake Repo and 16-year-old Ilya Selnikov. This is their first Junior Grand Prix event, which many of the teams are. So experience being gained right here, right now. Skating to Andy and Cessé. Vraiment, toi.
17-year-old Lena Maliko-Repo and 16-year-old Ilya Sielnikov from France. And a team, as you said, first Junior Grand Prix, first experience on the Junior Grand Prix. And you can see they've done well to prepare themselves and ready themselves with their 1980s rhythm dance to very unique French music.
Yeah, we had talked about that. We used to North American 1980s themes. That well, what happens when you hear a song? The judges hear a song from the 1980s from a different country they never heard of before.
Yeah,
and we just did.
Absolutely, and it had that 80s essence, and I thought there was a wonderful part in the non-touch where you saw skaters looking like they really embraced the 80s vibe. And here the rocker foxtrot, and you can see with this team still just refining their own individual skating skills, still developing as a team. So different angles of stroke as yet that will develop over time. And they train with Karine Haribert and their coach here, Mahir Chantelauz, and they've got such good coaches that I'm sure that as we see them progress towards next season, the quality of their skating skills will continue to develop.
Yeah, it's still early in the development. You can see even the turnout of the knee and the swizzle.
Yeah.
Not swizzles. Twizzles was maybe not at the degree that needed to be, but. And there, the look just.
No, this is the bit I like. Look at that commitment. Yeah. They're living their best lives. Go on. Love it. And that's what the judges are trying to reward as much as possible, that essence of 80s. And that non-touch, they covered the full width of the rink, both towards the judges and away from the judges. So simple steps, but using that simplicity to try to push the presentation and the composition and the skating skills as well.
It's such a fine balance for the coach to understand the level of skating that your team is at and their ability with the technical elements, and then give them a piece of music that now you're going to ask them to actually perform. So you don't want one to overdo the other. They need to have a nice mix, and many of the teams are still in development stages. You can't get that piece of music that will really take them to the top. We'll see that in the next team. You're going to see a completely different level, right? And
you sense, for the coaches and the choreographers, they have to give a piece that challenges but doesn't overpower. And I sense for this team, the choreography given to them is to facilitate their first junior season together. And this experience here, especially with coaches that are as educated as theirs, is very much about the experience in the learning ground.
Well, I think this was smart. I think this was a really good choice of music. They had fun and they were committed, as you said. They were convincing, particularly in the steps there. So I think this was a good match for the level of skating that they're currently at. Next year, maybe not. Maybe they need something, bigger and better. I don't know.
And maybe choosing music that is unlike. Also, we've got to admire them for choosing something that is unlikely to be taken by anybody else. They're not going to find themselves
that's right.
using something that everybody else is using, and there'd be a direct comparison with them in their first year to a seasoned team like Grimm and Savitsky or one of the other more campaigned ice dance teams.
Yeah, and this was really a good example. I talked about this at the beginning of the season. I'm going, well, what happens when you get a piece from Germany that's from the 1980s? Nobody would have ever heard of it.
Yeah.
Right? So, except for the Germans, of course. Let's take a look at the rhythm dance scores. Firina and Ilya, 39.49, and that'll put them currently into 4th place.
Great to see the understanding of that score. They appreciate what that is.
Absolutely. Experience gain. You got to get here, get on the ice, compete, sit in the kiss and cry, take the numbers, look at what you've got to do, look at the other teams, figure it out, go back to work. Okay, our next team represents Israel. 17-year-old Elizabeth Kachenko and 18-year-old Alexei Kilikov he was born in the United States. She was born also in Rockville. Coached by Alexei Kilikov. 66.70 personal best in Osaka, week number 4. And they're going to skate to Oh Yeah, Desire, the race, all by Yellow.
Elizabeth Kachenko and Alexei Kilyakov. And I remember, Ted, as they embraced at the end of their program last year, my first year working with you on the Junior Grand Prix, and seeing this team and thinking, oh, they're so strong, they're so good. And they were 8th in both their assignments last year, despite me thinking they had such great speed and strength and skating skill. This year, there's just an air of confidence that has facilitated the second place they had in Osaka and a likely medal again here.
Yeah, my world was you going, you pause for a second. I was going to jump and go confident.
Yeah.
It looks at what they have. They've skating without pushing the edge, pushing to the edge. You know, they're not apprehensive at all. As you see the two of those both in at a level 4 with a 2.40 GOE. That's 9.37 points on that one element mark.
Yeah. And here within the rocker foxtrot to the second rocker foxtrot, you can see just more flow, more glide, more match in the angle of each extension. Their coaching team will have worked so hard on the technique of their skating as we look at the outside closed mohawk key points. And that's why their components find them in the 7s range. And again, within the non-touch, you can just see ice coverage, flow and glide, interspersed with choreographic difficulty as well. So the highest score on the series so far, as we look at the rotational lift, is that of Leon Asset and Artem Markelov, who lead the standings at this stage. That's 68.99. And what's interesting is that Elizabeth and Alexei, after last season being outside the top 10 at Junior World Championships, wouldn't have been considered a team to contend for top scores, never mind, you know, winning the Junior Grand Prix. And yet it looks like the strength of their rhythm dance here could be right up there.
Yeah, their personal best this season, 66.70. This score is going to come close. But solid skating of confidence. They've had another year under the belt, and that just adds so much. You can be the same type of skater each year, but the confidence added looks completely different.
Yeah.
Rhythm dance score, season best, 68.52. They're pretty happy with that, a smile and a nod. And that'll put them currently into first place.
They're currently in first place.
Great job. There's a look at your top 5 of the leaderboard. Free dance to come, but they're positioned well at this point.
Representing France.
Our next team represents France, 18-year-old Eva Bernard and 19-year-old Amadeo Bonetto. 51.25, their personal best in the short program, or rhythm dance, pardon me. What a slip. Okay, skating to Dirty Diana and Thriller by Michael Jackson.
with just a gigantic improvement since Osaka for Eva Bernard and Amadeo Bonetto. It's, to me, hard to comprehend, how much stronger that this team looks in just, 3 or 4 weeks. And I think that's built on a foundation of really good skating skills and technique individually. But as a new team, they seem to have made, 3 or 4 weeks to a new team is months to a team that's perhaps been together for longer.
Yeah, absolutely. The first time out, early on in the season, no matter how good a skaters you are to get together or individually, it can be a little bit shaky. It's early in the season, you just come out of summer school, etc. This now, they were probably not happy with necessarily their result. So they went back to work, and we see the result right now.
And, obviously individually as we see the Twizzles so solid in their own right, and that, that French technique, quality knees and ankles, and that a good outside rocker. To me, I'd call that a clean. I'm not going to... To me, it was clean.
Wrong rabbit hole. Don't go down
there.
Yeah,
exactly. And here, the outside closed mohawks. I wouldn't necessarily 100% go with those ones, but, just the commitment to the program now. But what I love, just the quality of extension, the match within them. And so, without knowing exactly their skating education from an early stage of development, as we look at the rotational lift, I have to believe that they've really worked on their individual skating skills as a couple because they're so well matched now despite being together for a short time.
No, you can see that. As you said, with a new team, shorter time gives you more.
Yeah.
Right, it does, because you've got so much to combine together to get comfortable. And you can see this team has become way more comfortable than they were in Osaka.
So it was 51.25 in Osaka, and there were 3 key points achieved. Again, 3 key points here, but what I'm most conscious of is the components. So components for Osaka were mid to high 5s. They look to me like they are definitely into the 6s. You sense the speed and an attack that would justify those higher component scores. And, maybe they could contend for a medal here, this team.
They certainly look strong enough in this performance anyways. They have the free dance still to come. But I think, and I hope, they'll be pleased with this score. The improvement they made. There it is, season's best, 58.19. You can say, and the coach is going, okay, mission accomplished. Yeah. That hard work paid off. Take a look. We're second with the 58.19, season's best. Mission accomplished. Great job.
On the ice, representing Italy.
Our next team represents Italy. Noemi Maria Tali and Noah Lefonera. 18 years old for both. Just an illusion, and it's Raining Men. Popular tune.
Sincere commiserations for Noemi Mariatali and Noah Lafornara, because we haven't seen them on the Junior Grand Prix. They only announced their partnership April 17th. And I'm thinking, wow, they're going to do so incredibly well in their first Junior Grand Prix, and then obviously that fall.
But let's remove the fall.
Remove the fall, amazing.
Look inside that program. See how close they skate in the 9 steps? I took that as a replay, so take note. No, this is a very strong individual skaters, number one. Number two, they're a strong team skaters. It's really good. Very aggressive, very powerful. They skate towards the edge of disaster, which happened in the Twizzles, unfortunately. But this team is really strong, and it's going to have a great future. They've
found a great match in each other from a quality perspective individually. As we look at the Rocker Foxtrot, and again here, as I keep referencing about ice coverage, obviously the Rocker Foxtrot, same steps for all, and so the ice pattern and the coverage that the skaters offer gives a real indication of their skating skills. So here, the catch the blade of feature, the hand above the head of feature. Really close, just catching her toe pick.
Yeah.
And the problem is that although she managed to join him for the third twizzle, she won't have any value for the twizzles because the first and the second, they must have one twizzle either direction in the first and second. So
that'll
really
be costly
unfortunate.
to the score. But look how close and tight they are here. Great synchronization of arms plus blades.
Good deep edge set on the Choctaw as well. So whatever the score comes up as will not be,
not representative of the quality of this team.
And
well, in the competition, yes, but overall, no.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about Eva Bernard and Amadeo Bonetto and talking about that team vying for a medal. I was watching Noemi and Noah and thinking, oh my goodness, you're going to vie for a medal. So an exciting competition, and hopefully they'll come away from this feeling positive despite the frustration of the mistake.
Yeah, and that mistake would have been around how many points? Well, we'll talk about that in a second as we take a look at the rhythm dance scores for Naomi and Noah. 52.79, not bad considering that fall on the twizzles.
Potentially up to 6 or 7 points lost.
Yeah, that puts them currently in third place, which is still pretty good. We've got 4 teams to come. So that would have put them up,
in contention.
In
and also the components will have been affected by the fall, so many implications.
Hey, good team, strong team.
Really.
Difficult day, bright future. Hey, free still to come, so that's good. As we take a look at the results so far, after the first 2 groups, 4 teams to come after the ice resurfacing. And as we go to break, as we always do, day 2, final Junior Grand Prix event, the videos.
Yeah, well, let's hope that I get it right today. I made some mistakes yesterday.
Okay.
So during this ice resurface, we can be treated to the Mic'd Up series with the hilarious Simon Briggs, who was coach of the British pair team who competed in Gdansk last week. And then we go to the winners of the ice dance competition in Gdansk, Poland, Daria Grimm and Mikhail Sabitsky, and their interview following their second win on the series. And then to a promo for the e-learning which the ISU initiative has, and that's really interesting for you all to watch before the final video in this resurface break. The winners in Budapest of the ice dance competition, Ukraine's Irina Pedgena and Artem Koval.
Well, that sounds right, and that sounds good. We hope you enjoy it. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Let's leave it to the coach. Oh! I saw Mark. He told me to make sure that you're aware that he's wearing the kilt for you guys. No, he's actually got his kilt on, so if you see, he's actually... Yeah. He said he's supporting the Scots. I told him to do an ice stand, but he wouldn't do one. We could have done like some kind of Scottish dance, couldn't we, for him? That would have been nice. Plan it in future. And you should enjoy them. I mean, I'm forever saying to people, enjoy the events, because you know what? You don't get that time back. Lucy seems happy anyway, doesn't she, mate? Happy? Just keep it close so you're under it. Make sure you're under it. Keep the explosion and keep your legs strong for me, okay? Oh, it's not football. Lucy. Oh. Good job we can skate, innit? Next one's for a clean shore program. Come on, mate. Oh! Let's leave it to the coach. Oh! I saved you, mate. I said, as long as you listen to the coach, we're going to be okay. I said you forgot your water bottle. As long as you remember your head, we're okay. But enjoy it. You don't get that time back. Yeah? High five. One at a time. One element at a time. One element at a time. Be strong. Most importantly, you work for everything, but enjoy it. Look after yourself. Yeah? Up. Job. Up. Take your time. Good. Yeah? Good.
That was that basketball shot there.
That was what?
That was a basketball shot.
That was a basketball shot that did it, yeah. For you, fantastic. Do your job, everything else down to them. Our job is just to make sure it's a 4 every time. That's it. But that's what we keep saying. The beauty of the system is you can see where we're a little bit lower than we thought. And we continue to work in them areas. Well done, mate. Have a medal. Cheers. Yeah, super.
Daria and Michael, your second win on the Junior Grand Prix series. You've guaranteed your spot at the Junior Grand Prix final. How do you both feel?
I feel relieved. Because well, we of course wanted to win, and we always want to win. It's the goal. But after the skate, I wasn't so sure anymore because it was not the best yet. And I'm really happy that we still managed to win.
But relieved because obviously there were some mistakes in the program, but the program is so incredibly difficult and complex. How was the process of making it?
I mean, we try to put in as much like interesting things as possible, not like do 27 crossovers before every element. We try to do like very interesting transitions, and I think we've done that. It just needs more polish. We're very early in this season yet, and so yeah, I think we just need to work a lot and polish the things, and I think it could be a really good program. It has a foundation.
I agree. I think it could be an epic program, and not only is it early in the season, but you've had illness before your first Grand Prix. And then tell us a little bit about what's happened here.
We had an accident right before this competition, now Gdansk. Luckily, we had doctors at the rink because of the Nebelhorn trophy, so they instantly gave me a bandage and everything. I fell into Dasha's blade, so I had to get stitches.
Your fault. It's your blade. It doesn't necessarily mean it's your fault.
He was behind me, and then like we're doing our run through. It was at the beginning of the free dance, and then he just like stood up. I didn't see the fall. I just saw that he like fell, and then he like took my hand and it was like all wet and it was full of blood, and I was like, oh my god, what is happening? And he was so chill about it, and I started panicking. He was like, cool.
Yeah, my mindset was like, I have to continue the run through because I didn't see my hand. And then I picked her hand in the spin, saw that it was completely covered in red, and I was like, maybe
the run through is over for the day. So guys, you've had the illness, you've had the injury, now you've got 10 weeks leading up to the Junior Grand Prix final. What is the plan for the next few weeks?
Not to be ill.
Yeah, that's the main thing, and then of course just work on the things we already have, improve, polish. Yeah, and I think we're on a good road here.
I agree. Well, we wish you all the very best. Congratulations again and good luck for the next few weeks.
Thank
you so
Mark.
much.
eRink unites the global skating community around learning via a dynamic e-learning platform. Join us if you're a skater, coach, official, or involved in skating. From small bite skating courses to courses from leading skating professionals from around the world, there's something for everyone. Want to learn more on rules and regulations, or want to improve your techniques and training methods? We've got you covered. Whether you're at home, on the go, or at the rink, access eRink from anywhere. Stay informed, connected, and on top of your game. It's fun, free, and only one click away. Join us today to keep learning and take your skills to the next level.
it just is for me to be interviewing the champions here in ice dance in Budapest. The champions Irina Pedgena and Artem Kovel from Ukraine. 149.42. Your expression was priceless when you saw the score because you were already happy, you were already smiling, and then when you saw the score, it was like, how do you feel today?
I'm so happy. I'm like, I have so many emotions and so many what to say. I'm so happy.
What did you feel about your performance?
I don't know. I feel it's not great. We skate not so good, but we try to make our program to championship more better, and now I feel it's good because for us it's biggest achievement in our career because we skate not so long together, and we're very happy. Thank you Budapest, thank you all, and
Thank you everyone for your support, for everything.
And we want to say one big thanks to Austrian Federation because they give to us a place to skate. So without Austrian, I don't know what we do.
It's fantastic when people have supported you, of course, and you're very thankful for that. I have to ask you, this is an unusual year with the rhythm dance being the 1980s. Well, you guys weren't around during that time. And then you have a sort of a heavy metal or heavy rock in the free dance as well. A lot of dancing going on.
Yes, like we're so in love with our programs and we're dancing and we enjoy it. And
Who picked the music?
Artem more and
on the written dance, I pick up this music. We talked with Ira about this music, and for our free dance, it's take Maxim and Sasha, Nazarova Nikitin, and Galina Vladimirovna Churilova.
it's her idea. She's really like this music and we too.
Well, you guys were outstanding, brilliant. I know how much this means to you. National pride, of course. You wear your flag. How beautiful. Champions here in Budapest in the ice dance.
The following couples may now take the ice for a 5 minutes warm-up. From Spain, Maite Ojeda Lindholtz and Hector Gonzalez Elvira. From the United States of America, Ilya Peel and Ethan Peel. From Great Britain, Molly Harrison and Alex.
Welcome back to Yerevan for the third and final group of ice dancers in the 1980s rhythm dance. Today, the second day of competition on the final stop of the Junior Grand Prix Series this year. Elizabeth Tkachenko and Alexei Kilyakov, the favourites coming into this event, lead the field with the second highest rhythm dance score of the series so far, 68.52, 10 points ahead of the second place team at this stage. But within this warm-up group, Eliana Peel and Ethan Peel, another team who have already achieved a medal on the Junior Grand Prix Series, and they will be hoping to contend for gold in Yerevan as we see the British team who competed last week in Gdansk. They achieved the minimum technical element score for Junior Worlds, a huge accomplishment for them. Just working through the non-touch step sequence. And as ever in an ice dance warm-up, just getting a little close for comfort.
I'm back, Mark.
Yeah, he's back. Guess who's back?
Why was it so silent? Pleasant change, I'm sure.
Can't believe just 3 group teams.
I know.
Small, but we want more. We want more. Ice dance teams only able, as indeed the case for singles and pairs, can only attend 2 at most events on the Junior Grand Prix Series. And it will be the second assignment for Eliana and Ethan, the brother and sister team from the United States of America, who skate to Janet Jackson.
Yeah, and we've talked extensively about the progress or the work that is made between the first experience in the Junior Grand Prix and your second one. So important, but not just for the improvement in the series itself, but for that learning of, oh my gosh, we weren't ready, you know, why weren't we, or what do we have to do now? And actually it helps you because sometimes you have to improve rapidly in a very short period of time for a qualifying event or whatever the case. And quite often you don't have those experiences in the competitive schedule, you know, domestic schedule. So this is actually really healthy, all the travel, all the excitement, 2 competitions sometimes 1 week away or back to back, sometimes 4 weeks away, to learn how to cope. Again, the journey to becoming an Olympic athlete is long and it's really hard and it's up and down and all around. And you have to go through all of that in order to get to that Olympic.
You know, we think about the great ice dancers, Papadakis Cizeron, Virtue and Moyer, Davis and White, those all of the last Olympic champions, and for none of them, and indeed none of the case of any ice dance Olympic champion or any ice dance Olympian, has the journey towards that success been a constant line of improvement and result scores increasing without any drama or mistake. It's not an easy journey towards that. And better to amass the educational experiences and the failings as a junior, really, before you head to the senior ranks.
Yeah, it's always so interesting when you're younger. You think things are pretty black and white.
Yeah.
But life is great. And there's so many variations. And until you live through those adjustments in time, when you think something is very clear and very plain, and then you realize there's so many variations of that, then you start to understand, okay, you have a broader view perhaps. And so you're planning. Now that only happens when you're seniors here or even post-competitive life. So, but every single experience is important, and the most valuable experiences often are the worst experiences.
And I suppose the challenge for some of the teams is if you have a new team and the coaching staff maybe going on a very much seasonal basis, because dependent upon the coaching environment, the training environment, just keeping a team together for a season, that in itself is hugely challenging. All of the skaters on the ice will have gone through great physical, mental, financial expense to be here. And so you might not be thinking about Olympic cycles and how to get towards Olympic Games. You might just be thinking, right, I've got to provide this, make this as positive experience as possible to allow them to continue for multiple seasons or even a second season. So each team has a kind of different assessment of how long they'll continue in this competitive world.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know.
No.
No, not sometimes, actually. Most of the time you don't know until it becomes clear near the end.
Couples, your warm-up has ended.
And here we go. Final group. Weird to say, with after 3, in
not ready for a break.
Yeah, you're not ready for a break.
No,
okay,
I
we'll
could
just
keep
keep you on then. You can just talk during the break.
It's funny, we can see some parents from our standpoint watching their children, and I can only imagine the passionate care and the pride.
The pride and the nerves.
Yeah.
Our first team represents Spain. 15-year-old Mete Ojeda Lindholz and 17-year-old Hector Gonzalez Severa. This is their first Junior Grand Prix event. Good color for these costumes from the 1980s. It's great.
And this team had a couple of falls in practice, so hoping that they have a clean skate here.
Skating to Kiss by Prince.
Well, that was fun. Mete Ojeda Lindholz and Hector Gonzalez Avira from Spain.
Okay.
Bit of costume choreography.
We have not seen that this week.
We have
this
not.
series, that's for sure.
Good on them for the bravery, and what brilliant tunes. And what was really fun to watch as we watched Mete and Hector was to see the coach beaming with pride and enjoying the performance of his students, and I enjoyed it too.
Yeah, it's too bad. I'm sure that Mete's going to be a little bit disappointed with the twizzles, but the rest of it was kind of fun and kind of sassy.
Yeah, they brought it. And as I say, they had a rough practice yesterday, so kudos to them for getting through here. Rocker Foxtrot.
Good strong back.
Yeah, and good strong back, as you say, decent knee, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with Mete and Hector skating. Just the increased flow and glide that's necessary for those higher component scores. The curve lift, level 4, strong and confident.
They have confidence in the performance level too. You can see the choreography is not just done, but done with a little oomph. You know?
Yeah, some sass. And Hector explained that Meta has a back injury and they've had to change parts of the choreography to reduce the pain upon her. So you wouldn't have known that there was an injury in the way that they held themselves. Just unfortunate here.
And then just, lost the rhythm and the confidence in the second set. Third set gets back, but by that time, damage done.
Yeah, and technical panel will be assessing that. Good for them for having their own statement upon it, and great music. Kissed by Prince, Maniac as well. Some brilliant pieces and teamwork in the making of the Love Heart and the Kiss and Cry as well. I want to know some of the stories. Some of these Kiss and Cry shapes that are put out.
Well, I want to come up with something different because everybody's doing the same heart thing. Okay.
The team is part of the Spanish Federation's Pairs Elite program with an aim for them to become future Olympians. So they're obviously not protected, but supported by the Spanish Federation.
Yeah, nice. And good idea, to get a program going. There's nothing like, particularly for the young men and the women as well, to feel part of something bigger than just your team or yourself as a skater. Being part of the Spanish team as a junior Grand Prix team, but also a team within that country for the development of ice dancing. So those things are so important because they're goals for people to work towards. Then when they see the camaraderie in that team itself, they want to be part of it.
Yep. And for Meta and Hector, they hopefully will be sharing this experience with other youngsters. And so often it's the case that the skaters will then go and coach the learn to skate classes within their respective ranks. And now this experience gives their students something to work towards.
Well, let's take a look at the rhythm dance scores from Mete and Hector. Mete still have the smile on her face, 36.96. And that will put Mete and Hector currently into 8th place.
They're currently in 8th place.
Well, the next team represents the United States of America. Brother-sister team, Eliana, 16 years old. Ethan is 19, second Junior Grand Prix season, second event, taking bronze in Linz in week 2. And so this is a very important competition for them to have a run at the Junior Grand Prix final. 56.55 personal best. Skating to What Have You Done For Me Lately and Rhythm Nation by Janet Jackson.
Ice within the non-touch midline step sequence and an absolute highlight of their choreography, which I can assure you was really well delivered. And it looks like, as I say, they've been working very hard on the tech score. So they had a 56.55 in the rhythm dance in Linz in Austria, but en route to achieving that score, they only achieved 1 key point. Here, it looks like 4 key points have been achieved. One coming with the timing, and there, Eliana and Ethan, and what brilliant characters they are. They entertained us so much when they were in Linz, Austria.
great cheerleaders.
Brilliant, just brilliant.
As well as great skaters. We'll take a look at the score. As he mentioned, 56.55, and this is a season's best of 62.52. Great score. A little fist pump. Not approval, thumb one, thumb up. And as they take over, second place.
Kiss from Dad, nice.
2 teams to come.
You'd want them on your team, wouldn't you? If you're going to an assignment, you'd want those skaters with you.
Absolutely. Energy, the fuel building.
Representing Great Britain.
Our next competitors represent Great Britain. 17-year-old Molly Hersine and 19-year-old Alessio Sharankov-Golchev. Second Junior Grand Prix event. Skating last week in Gdansk. Skating to State of Shock, This Place Hotel, and Can You Feel It by the Jacksons.
Molly Hersine and Alessio Serenkov-Gulshev from Great Britain competing in back-to-back Junior Grand Prix events, and what a fortnight it's been for them as they share a fist pump to finish.
I just see Molly getting more confident all the time, you know?
Wonderful to see.
Good energy at the top of the program.
Alessio Serenkov-Gulshev, Great Britain.
Their personal best, 52.97. Not sure if they'll reach that here. We'll have to wait and see, but still a pretty consistent performance.
Well, such a huge experience for them. Alessio has competed on the Junior Grand Prix with a former partner. This is the first time for Molly to be on the Junior Grand Prix and competing in back-to-back events. They went home for a day in London, swapped coaches, parent coming along, just amazing experience.
Swap coaches?
So not change coaches.
Define that, please.
Paul Dredge, their coach, staying home.
Yeah.
He back with his family, and now here with Mark Naylor, who's supporting them in Yerevan. As we look at the Rocker Foxtrot, and amazing to get all 4 key points achieved in the first Rocker Foxtrot. A negative creative execution on the elements. So really clean footwork, obviously demonstrated to the technical panel. The judges thinking that the quality of the execution just not quite epic enough for them to go positive. And here, opportunity for them to push that presentation.
Yeah, it looks a little shy of what they had the last competition or last week. Just the threes in the twizzles and those two pieces of the rock foxtrot in the minus GOEs.
Yeah, and I think, you know, last week was so brilliant for the team. I think had this result come in last week, they would have still been quite satisfied with that. So.
Yeah, true enough. Now expectations a little higher, but we'll see.
Molly just checking, they're gonna, working together in the kiss and cry as well.
Rhythm dance scores 50.02, so just a little bit shy. They seem to be okay with that. It'll put them currently into 6th place with one team to come. They make good progress and good experience over 2 weeks. This is a back-to-back is a great game here. Now, mind you, there's not a lot of travel involved, so that's a good thing. But
crazily, they went home and then back out again. So.
Okay, they had a lot of trouble. Okay. Final team comes from Kazakhstan. 13-year-old Eva Shelevaya, sorry, pardon me, and 16-year-old Ivan Soloveyev. 34.10, their personal best in the rhythm dance.
Eva Sheleva and Ivan Solovyev from Kazakhstan, and a team that has shown huge improvement really since they competed on the Junior Grand Prix in Istanbul. And they were 16th of the 16 teams in the rhythm dance at that event, but seeming to come here with much greater experience, awareness and knowledge of what is necessary.
Yeah, they look a little more assertive, a little bit more confident.
Yeah, and Eva in particular has a real clean body alignment. She has lovely extension and real ice dance education. You sense that the team just getting to grips with the requirements necessary. As we look at the curve lift, that's coming in at level 4, and that the only one of the 5 elements to have a positive grade of execution. And interesting, we talked about the music requirements, and interestingly, at their first Junior Grand Prix, they did have a music requirement violation, so that's a mandatory 2-mark deduction. So that could be a number of things, perhaps the timing of the rocker foxtrot, or just whether or not the music is indeed showcasing that 80s essence.
And they would have changed that. We saw a little slip there, but this is the same music, is it not?
I think so, I'm pretty sure. So you see as they proudly wave their flag. And it was a 34.1 in Istanbul.
It looks like they might be a little bit better here. That'll be some progress made.
Yeah, they achieved 1 key point. No key points achieved in Turkey. And level 3 twizzles for Eva as opposed to level 1, which they both achieved a few weeks ago. So obviously lessons learned, as we've spoken about so often. Great opportunity for the skaters to learn. And I think that this couple seems to, for me, just need to keep understanding and comprehending some of the features that are required to get those levels. It sense that they're not quite attuned to perhaps what's going to constitute those bigger tech scores.
The Junior Grand Prix is kind of like a mini competition camp. You have an opportunity twice to get out and then to train in between, and nothing's really heard. It's not your national championships, not yet at the junior world level, but so it's a great, great learning opportunity how to compete.
Yeah.
And then how to respond after a competition to get better quickly.
And they have done just that. They have responded really well and showcasing those improvements. And they just seem much more at home and comfortable with what's required here. I remember thinking it seemed tentative and cautious in Istanbul, and not that now.
Well, that just takes time. You know, that's just time. Rhythm dance scores. Season's best, 36.66. So some progress made there for Eva and Ivan. And that'll put them 11th place.
No deductions, so the music was good.
Awesome. That's great.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You can see it's pretty close up top between second and third. We'll take a look at the final standings after the rhythm dance in just a moment. Small field, just 3 groups. And there we go, 68 and 62 and a 58. So 10 points separates third from first, of course, as we take a look at the rest of the field. Most of these teams here getting experience, getting ready for the domestic time of the season. That concludes our coverage of the rhythm dance. Up next will be the women's free program. We hope you'll join us for that here in Yerevan. For all of us here at the ISU, I'm Ted Bart along with Mark Hunready. Thank you for watching. We hope that you'll join us for the women's free coming right up.